we need to talk to each other because, as I said at the very beginning of the show, we're not as divided as the media and everybody else will have you believe. We're not. We are divided on things like the president. But when you look at just the COVID poll, you start to see why there's a divide. Well, it's regional. Yes, this is a full-fledged emergency panic. Say the people in the Northeast around New York. Yes, it is. I'll bet you they say that in Detroit as well. But they're not saying that in Little Rock. They're not saying that in basically all of Texas. We don't have the numbers, so it doesn't feel the same. And in places where, you are farming and whatever, you're already kind of used to this kind of a lifestyle. I mean, not shelter in place, but you're kind of on your own. You're doing your own thing. You're not in big crowds like in New York City. So we actually don't disagree. And which brings me to a couple of people that I have talked to in the past, but I have so much respect for what they are doing and have tried to do. It's Justine Lee and Joan Blades. They are the co-founders of Make America Dinner Again. And we did this, I don't even know, 2 years ago. And it's one of my favorite experiences, really, of my broadcast career, because it was so enlightening. And we all walked away, all of us disagreeing on so many things. All of us worried about, oh boy, how is this going to end up? We all hugged at the end. It was amazing. Brainchild of these two people, and they're joining us now. They're trying to bring us back together with some living room conversations. Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, Glenn.
Thank you for having us.
You bet.
Yeah, it's
so
nice to
tell
see
me
you again,
some good
Glenn.
news. Good to see you. Tell me some good news. Tell me what's happening.
Be
Well, I
happy
have to-
to. So
I was going
Here's
to
the problem.
let you know that
Here's the
actually,
problem with all of these things.
I'm a co-founder of Living Room Conversation, and Justine is the co-founder of Make America Dinner Again.
Oh,
And
I am so
Living
sorry.
Room
I'm sorry.
Conversation's
Okay.
been doing virtual conversation, video conversation in addition to in-person conversations for years. And so we decided, well, hard to do dinner together right now. And Justine got in touch and this would be a wonderful partnership.
So I didn't know. I didn't know the difference between living room conversations. These are totally separate groups. Were you aware and trying to put things together in the past, or did you just have the same idea and went different routes?
well, we were definitely aware of each other. I think that with Make America Dinner Again, we were definitely much more concerned with having conversations among people across the political spectrum. So we're always striving for that balance of right-leaning and left-leaning, whereas that was a little bit less of a focus for living room conversations.
Okay, so what is the point of living room conversations? Why did you feel, Joan, that it was important to do?
Well, I am a co-founder of MoveOn.org, and I live in Berkeley. And so, in fact, when I started this,
how did you
better understand what's going on?
How did you? Did the invitation to come on this program, did it make your head explode when you are like, Glenn Beck program?
My head almost exploded, but I went, he's telling people that we need to be in good connection with each other. And that's exactly what this work is about. So we did start it around political polarization, but what we found is these conversations, it's a very simple, small conversation format that's massively reproducible. 6 people getting together, conversation agreements, basically what you knew in kindergarten: take turns, be respectful, be curious. And then people have these wonderful conversations. And it went beyond just left-right. So now we have this whole set of coronavirus conversations that are really about our deeper values. And it's left-right is a wonderful thing to have in the mix, but intergenerational, intercultural, all the differences are really wonderful.
I would totally agree with you. And Justine, I think what you have to bring to this is kind of more of the acute problem, at least in our society, long term. Maybe not during the COVID, but we are at a point where the patient is bleeding to death on the table because the left-right just cannot find a way to be nice to each other and talk to each other like human beings.
Yeah, no, it's true. And I think what I've learned from hosting some of these conversations is that in the end, there still is more that we have in common, and that we're experiencing a lot of the same feelings of uncertainty. So even if we're in different cities and towns, and the infection rates and the death rates are variable, are different, folks are still feeling a level of uncertainty. And whether that means financial insecurity, the fear of losing their job. And then also, of course, people are feeling concerned about loved ones and the people that they care about.
So,
Yeah.
I want to go ahead.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to mention that, like, our hope is that these conversations really focus on people's common experience and helping build bonds and understanding, because before the pandemic, MADA was preparing for, the election season. We knew it was going to be contentious. It already is. And now we're not only facing a contentious election season, we're also facing a long recovery period from the pandemic. So I think any goodwill, any understanding that can happen through these video conversations can go a long way in helping people see each other's humanity.
I was just doing an interview overseas because I just put a new book out called Arguing with Socialists. And people either look at that and say, oh, I know where he's going, or, or they cheer because I know where he's going. And actually, the real concept behind it is, if I'm 25 years old, because everybody I've done an interview with, they'll say, why is the youth so attracted to socialism? And, there's a lot of people on the right that can make all kinds of reasons for it, but I don't find any of them valid. I think the valid reason is because what they have experienced in their life has shown that this system doesn't work. The way we're doing it, it doesn't work. And I probably would be, very similar. And if you approach someone and you can look at it from there, it just requires listening. If you listen to somebody and ask them, so why do you feel that way? Why do you believe in that? And they get past all talking points on anything in their life. You start to empathize, and then you can come to real solutions. But as long as you're a cartoon figure and I'm a cartoon figure, we got nothing.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree. And so we want to make this series accessible to everyone. So we've created these pre-written conversation guides to just make it very easy for anyone to pick up. And so we'd love to invite your viewers and your subscribers to join us in hosting a conversation on coronavirus. And like you can see on the screen there, it's 6 people. And so we highly encourage 2 hosts to come together, one right-leaning, one left-leaning, if that's what you're striving for. And then just having each of those hosts invite 2 of their friends. And so that way you've got 6, and it just makes it, really easy.
Great. That's great.
Yeah.
So Joan, you've been doing this online. It started in living rooms, or is that just the name of it, living room conversation?
It started in living rooms, and and now it's in churches, it's in libraries. We have a bookstore in Zebulon that does them. And the wonderful thing is, we had research done this last year that was looking at the outcomes of living room conversations, short-term and long-term, and they found that we were achieving what we're after, which is connection and understanding, and better conversation skills. both in person and by video. So, it's wonderful to be in person and breaking bread together, but when you can't, sometimes these video conversations are actually better for some people. And it's so much easier to have a conversation with people across the country by video. You're in Texas, Justine's in New York, I'm in Berkeley.
Right.
And we're having an okay conversation here.
We are. And I will tell you that I think this virus has broken through to a lot of people. They've started to use Zoom. They've started to have even deeper conversations with their families. We've done family conferences on both sides of the family, and where everybody is conferenced in, and they'll go for an hour. Well, maybe in a family reunion we do that, but we've done it, and people are more comfortable, and it is not the same as texting or Twitter or anything else, because you still are looking someone in the face as you're talking to them, and so you realize, oh, this is another human being, and it's a lot harder. But I think this time has been really, really good for us. And let me say something, Joan, that if I had money in Vegas, you would be very, very disappointed, because I don't think anyone would ever bet that this would happen. But let Glenn Beck say to the co-founder of MoveOn.org, good job on this project. I think this is really, really good. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, Joan, and Justine. Thank you. And I'd like to actually, probably next week, I'll be announcing I want to do a what do you call them? Living room conversation, because we can't do the dinners right now, but I want to do a living room conversation. I did one. I think I know you saw it, Justine, and it's one of the best. I mean, we had people who just wouldn't have ever thought of being in the same room with me, and we had the best conversations, and walked away friends. It was nice. So thank you.
It's really all about taking that first step. So we'd love to work with you on a living room conversation, Glenn.
Okay, we will do it. My office will be in touch with you, and we'll make it happen, and we'll talk about it, hopefully next week. Thank you both so much. God bless you both.
Thank you.
Sounds great. You too.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.